With just the right angle. I'm giving an update on a few things that happened over the weekend regarding the Republican Party. Of course, you can follow me at just the right angle on Rumble, where I do post about important issues that affect you, how to get involved in making America a better place. If you follow me before, you know that I've talked about a lot of the problems within the Republican Party. This is a post made by Lori Justice, who was recently um, she's been involved with a lot of political issues for years. I encourage you to follow her on Facebook. She posted this about Hayden Paget. He is the reelected chairman of the National Young Republicans. And apparently there was some drama regarding his election, but this video is posted first. This is something that he did regarding Black Lives Matter. It's a minute long. I'll play it and then talk a little bit about this guy or this video, and then I'll play some over the weekend regarding the Republican Party. Okay, now I'll tell you why that video is incredibly stupid and why that guy should never be involved in any political movement, let alone being the chair of the Young Republicans. First of all, the movement of Black Lives Matter is a Marxist, anti American, racist movement. It is bankrolled by the same people who did Occupy Wall Street and a lot of other leftist astroturf movements. That's one. Secondly, George Floyd was not murdered. He overdosed on fentanyl. There is a possibility they may not have been administered Narcan in time, and there may have been something regarding counterfeit money with the other officer. But there was no reason to make him in any way, shape, or form a hero. The reason why most blacks have a problem getting a job or in jail is because of a degenerate culture, a corrupt Democrat Party, a system that is designed to breed and almost encourage failure and degenerate lifestyle. Okay, and this clown to try to claim that Republicans should embrace Black Lives Matter. This guy should have never been elected to any position. But apparently, last night they had an election, and this guy was reelected. This was the National Young Republicans movement. This is about the only video I've been able to find of this. I don't know if they banned recording and somebody just took out their phone, decided to record what was going on. But apparently, this guy threatened to remove pro-Trump delegates at the national convention after delegates demanded that he release the results spreadsheet following his narrow reelection. This was August 2nd, 2025. This is from Sarah Fields, Republican state delegate and precinct chair, investigative journalist and Army veteran. So give her credit for this video. I think they're telling them to do it. Do it! Do it! So, so yeah, this is idiot guy. There's another the same video. Yeah, he's basically a Democrat, as many people said. And a lot of people are commenting rightfully so. Basically, they've elected a Democrat in this position of power. I wish this were the only example, but of course it's not. Here is another example. If you've followed my page, you've seen this before. It's actually, this is on Rumble, but I'm going to try to share this onto via YouTube because YouTube does have closed caption, and this one is not quite as good in terms of. Okay, that part right there is a lie. There is nothing anywhere in the Young Republicans section that says you have to be credentialed and that you have to go through a credentialing committee. This was the Saline County Young Republicans meeting from a few years ago, when they were to elect new officers. And this is this Rusty Jackson guy. He is the head of the Arkansas Young Republicans. So what he's doing is he took the money from lots of people and then he denied them the ability to vote based upon a made-up credentialing committee. So if you pay your dues today, you're not going to get your not even members until next month. What is our order? What is our order? If you already credentialed, you're not going to be credentialed. Can you just have a pass how long cares and I got to and it said they're a member. No, they are. We don't have to. It's online. And the bylaws of your state Arkansas Club, the Arkansas Club of Young Republicans, said that the memberships are to be paid on the website. Well, we also have our chapter bylaw, which states that you have to be a member of for 6 months prior to the general election. You can miss no more than 3 meetings. May I have a copy of those? Yes. Got it right there. I've got it. Those were approved in March. So with that, we begin the election process. Is there any nominations for chair? I nominate for Mark. Yes. She would have found it. It says that if they pay their dues and that if they are registered to vote in the county, upon paying the dues, they are immediately a member. And when they pay their dues, they get a welcome for now a member of AFYR. So I believe if they are in fact registered in this county and they have paid their dues, they are a member. That is what your bylaws say. So our chapter bylaws have those, and our chapter bylaws are located here too. And they have been accepted. Yes, you get those automated emails once you have paid your dues. But this has been approved by the state as of last year. So your bylaws haven't been approved? Yes, these bylaws have been approved. No. Okay. You are talking about the state bylaws? So we can write our own bylaws as long as they are not contradictory to the state. Since they have been approved by the state. But that's contradictory to the bylaws. The state has already approved it. They approved it last year. So we will begin our nominations. There was a nomination. Can I follow up on that? I have the Arkansas Federation of Young Republicans constitutional bylaws right here. Yes, ma'am. So this is this is Jennifer Lancaster quoting about the Republicans, the bylaws here. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you have a bunch of consultant class people trying to keep conservatives. You have this type of confusion. Nobody knows what's really going on. and you have a lot of people getting frustrated. And I'm sure a lot of these people have probably left and probably don't want anything to do with the Republican Party because of this. And this, when you have this kind of behavior, this is what happens. And sadly, the sad thing is they got away with this. They're going to get away with stuff like this and continuously. I'm going to talk about what we can do because of things like this. But yeah, do go to my Rumble page. You'll see all kinds of footage on stuff like this that's happening that you should hear about, but you don't. And it looks like Facebook is not letting me post a link because I just tried to post it earlier. But yeah.
By the greater schooling, the state bylaws are not the state has already approved this last year. That is what we're going.
So Ford County bylaws cannot contradict the state bylaws.
This is what was approved last year, supported by the state.
So this is the state, right?
Our state bylaws are clear. The state has given us clear to make our own laws as long as they have supported.
Okay, so I just need to understand if your AFRW, AFIR Constitution and bylaws say immediately upon those requirements being met, which I told you earlier, they are contradicting. I guess.
Sorry, I kind of. But like a coward, he never notified people of that. And then he's just ignoring. And they're just trying to run the election without having anybody have a say.
I think you should at least clarify.
Can you clarify what your objection to?
That if we're paid members, that we cannot vote.
Can you clarify what we're objecting to?
I don't know what he's talking about or what you're talking about.
So basically, in summary,
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
No, ma'am, you're not a voting member. You cannot make motions.
may I explain what the difference is? So he's saying none of you all are members,
The
even though
following
you pay.
people, I
heard say
You're not members.
That's what I heard.
No,
So that's what
I'm the chairman. I have the floor.
However,
So, the following
the
people
rules
have
say
paid
that if
their
they are registered electors and if they have paid,
That's me.
and if they have paid their dues, then immediately they shall be a member. And he's saying they're not, even though they have those qualifications. Dues that were paid.
Amber Johnson,
Join the
Trigger, Simmons, April Fuller, Christopher Smith, Xana, Emily Curtis, Olivia
They won't let them vote,
Hanson,
even though they're paid.
Miles Caldwell, Kevin Bradshaw, Brandon Lewis, Allison Gray, Robert Dewberry, Sophia Holden, Raven Sims, Tabitha Connor, Gary Adams. I don't know how to make dues. I'm saying those people pay dues today. Once they are credentialed, which we have not had time to credential them, we have to make sure that these people.
So, like a coward, he says we have to have a credentialing process, but he never bothered to credential him before the election. So this has happened in a lot of meetings. There was an attempt to do this in the Arkansas Hispanic coalition. People paid their dues, and somehow the credentialing didn't go through for the conservatives. And then immediately there was an attempt to try to hurry up and vote before any credentialing could be done. And this type of behavior is why people are. This kind of stuff is happening all across the nation against conservatives by what I call the consultant class.
I have it right here. It's all right
They have
here.
not been credentialed. According to our bylaws, they have not been credentialed, and we will be moving forward with the meeting. She's right here behind me.
We're out. We're not going
Coming in and telling us.
Yeah, that guy probably left. And
They don't follow the article.
Take over.
Two organizations.
First of all, not listen to the rules. Hang on a minute.
That's why I'm here.
That you all can be chapel.
So anyway, this guy's a con man. He's a coward. His name's Rusty Jackson. And he just ripped these people off by deliberately not telling them that they had to be credentialed, not even bothering to credentialing. Later on, they somehow are not credentialed. And then having this scam election. So the Greater Saline County Young Republicans, I believe they end up electing Drew Martin as the chair. And then he goes on to run the Arkansas Young Republicans. And here he is again, casting votes for Young Republican National, whatever the title is, Chairman Hayden Paget. So here he is again. So yeah, he goes through a minute speech. I'm not going to go through it because he basically has to read from his cell phone the whole time. But yeah, so they ended up voting for this guy, this guy that kicked out Trump supporters and earlier supported Black Lives Matter. But this is the kind of behavior you're going to get. This is why I have the graphic that I have. I just put it up earlier. Is because we have this type of behavior going on all over. And of course, the RNC won't do anything about it. The only thing we can really do about it is push back put the same amount of pressure we did in terms of getting rid of Ronna McDaniel. And for the exact same reason. These are saboteurs. These aren't real Republicans. They're just Democrats in drag. I believe Lori Justice calls them Biden Republicans because they use the same tactics that were used to keep Biden in power. And they're running the show. I have this graphic here. Conservatives give their time and money to the Republican Party of Arkansas, but it's the special interest consultants who call the shots. And I have this graphic that I could post it on the video here to show what I'm talking about. This is a graphic of what is going on. And it explains a lot. But basically, the consultants here, this is Chris Caldwell. He's the guy he's probably one of the bigger consultants. He was the one who was Sarah Huckabee Sanders' campaign manager. And he did a lot of other stuff. And he is often during the summer committee meeting, he actually was able to end that meeting by calling for a motion to adjourn, and of course being immediately recognized and accepted before anybody could do anything. But there he is. And there's other consultant firms. There's probably more besides these, but these are the ones I picked. And this guy, of course, has I put some of his sponsors here. If you wonder why your energy rates, why these energy companies waste money on wind and solar, and why the Republican Party doesn't do anything about it, it's because guys like this are in charge. Because he represents Entergy, Empower. I think Cox is a communications company. You ever wonder why we don't really go after the people that pushed for COVID? Why we don't punish Big Pharma for what they did to us regarding the COVID epidemic? It's because a lot of the healthcare industry are part of the sponsors as well. And so it's because of guys like that is why we have leadership in the Republican Party like this clown. So, of course, I told you the bad news, but I always like to leave with some good news, or of course, or at least what can you do about it news. There are organizations that are working to reform the state of Arkansas. Sorry for that. There are some organizations that are working hard to reform Arkansas to make it a better place and to take the power away from the consultant class. And here is one of them, Conduit News. And they just put out a scorecard, a legislative scorecard that you can read. And it goes through all the details of how they scaled people, some of the awards. They gave a Calvin Coolidge Award, but you can go there, check it out, see how your state rep or state senator did, see if maybe you should find someone to run against them or you should support them in re-election. The Republican primary is happening in March. I believe filing for candidacy starts in November, and that's not that far away. So yes, you absolutely need to get people, need to find out who's who, find out what consultants they use, because if they use these consultants, then you can probably bet they're not going to represent you when it comes to the Arkansas legislature. Because right now, that's the state of the Republican Party. It is controlled by these organizations. Meta, by the way, that's Facebook. That's Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, the guy with the Zuckbucks, the ones that sabotaged a lot of local races by using Zuckerberg dollars to affect a lot of, it was a scheme involving a lot of clerks and election officials that helped put Biden in power. Oh yeah, there's the casinos. That's one of his clients as well. And I'll talk a little more detail about these organizations. I have links to them. I have a links of consultants to avoid. I'm going to start putting that on my page. Also, of course, I do have a list of organizations that are doing good besides Conduit that you can check out. And I'll be adding more stuff and talking more about this in detail as we get closer to things like filing date. One big good event that's coming up, October 6th, there's going to be the Election Commission is going to have a hearing. Let me see if I can. There's a lady who's been keeping up with that a lot more than I have. Brian Norris has been talking about it. Robin Washington, here she is. She's, I believe she's actually one of the members of this. She's been heavily involved in this effort. This Citrus County election commissioners, they are fighting tooth and nail against the election of the Board of Election Commissioners. And let me see if I can find. Here we go. The hearing will be Wednesday, August 6th, 9 a.m. at 501 Wood Lane Drive. Of course, they did schedule this when thinking about the working class people. So obviously they schedule it when a lot of you will be at work. Sorry for that. But we'll try to get a lot of, if you can show up to that, I will try and live stream and film that. Although I'm not sure if I will be able to, because we don't know what the status of this is going to be. But if you can make it to this, if not, if I do a live stream, please share it with other people. Make sure others know what's going on. But again, this will be this coming Wednesday, August 6th at 9 a.m. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't think it'll be on the Arkansas Legislative Labs. I don't know if the Election Commission live streams their meetings or not on their own. I'm going to go up there anyway. I want to interview some people that were involved in this. But yeah, If you know of any other events or issues that are going on, please let me know. I know there's the fight against the windmills. I know that up in North Arkansas, there's also the big prison boondoggle up there. As I understand, they drilled some water and they spent several thousands of dollars to get barely enough water to run one trailer park. Lots of people are announcing they're not running for re-election. Again, if you find someone and they come up to your county committee or you're at some meet and greet and they're running for office, it doesn't matter what they plan to do. It doesn't matter what they promise. Doesn't matter what speech they give or how well you know them. The big, most important thing to ask them, who is actually running their campaign? Who is their campaign manager? That's one of the biggest questions to ask. The other thing to ask is, what have they done but in the past that's mattered? Have they really fought against the special interests that have run Arkansas for decades? That's really the big question to ask. Well, folks, again, follow me at Just the Right Angle for updates on issues that affect you. Feel free to leave messages. I will try to get it where I can get a little more consistent in terms of when I post these. I will try to be there Wednesday at 9. I'll do some kind of broadcast there, if either from the event or if not from the event, then at least just outside of there. So Wednesday at 9, try to look for me. Other than that, you all have a good evening. Good luck with the start of the week. Remember, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. You all have a good day.